Foundation monthly personal development series. And today, our topic is going to be centered on a powerful and relevant thing, which is building resilience, overcoming challenges. And my name is Akinde Adiboye, and I'm delighted to be your host for this impactful session. I think we would wait for 5 minutes for others to join. Thank you. Okay, while we wait for others to join, I would like to introduce myself also as a host. My name is Akinde Adeboye, as I said. Adeboye is my first name for those that may be confused. I'm not directly a biological son of the popular man. Adeboye is my first name, and I attend Redeemers University currently. I'm studying mechanical engineering. And if you have any questions for us today, you can write them down and we'll be taking them at the end of the session. Okay, I think we already have a number of people that have joined the call, so we would go on in about 1 minute. Thank you. Okay, as we move on, while we are still waiting for others to join, please I encourage us to share this post, the link to this meeting on our status so that our friends can join. Quickly, on our agenda, the first thing we have for today is the housekeeping rules. The housekeeping rules, and I'll quickly read them to us. Okay, the first one is be aware of your environment. Ensure you're in a quiet, Be aware of your environment. Ensure you're in a quiet, distraction free space. Okay, sorry about that pause. Be aware of your environment. Ensure you're in a quiet, distraction free space. Please, if where you are is noisy, you can mute your mic. If maybe you're busy, you can avoid using your video to avoid interruptions during the meeting. Then the second one is keep volume at a safe level. Avoid listening at excessively high volumes when using hand-free devices. Don't let our volumes be too loud. Let it not, because it can affect our hearing. So let's be cautious of that. The third one is mute when not speaking. Reduce background noise by keeping your microphone muted unless speaking. Please let us all mute our mics when we're not speaking so as not to avoid interruption and also that everyone can be focused during the course of the meeting. Then the fourth one is share video only when requested. Turn on your camera only if asked to do so. Then the fifth one is for those of us that are driving. Do not watch while driving for safety reasons. Do not attend virtual meetings while driving. This is just for our safety. If you are driving, if you can get a place to park, a safe place to park, you can just park while the meeting goes on, and when we're done, you can continue your journey. Thank you very much. Then, next on our agenda today is I'll be reading about Mr. Beast Educational Foundation. Mr. Beast Educational Foundation is a registered non-governmental organization with Nigeria Corporate Affairs Commission, was established based on 3 out of the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Goal 1, no poverty. Goal 4, good and quality education. Goal 17, partnership to achieve the goals. So these are the 3 goals on which the foundation was established. Goal 1 is no poverty. The second one, good and quality education. Then the third one, goal 17, partnership to achieve the goals. So I'll briefly read through the achievements of Mr. Beast Educational Foundation over the years. First one is we have rewarded over 70 students from 4 government-owned secondary schools within 5 years of their academic excellence. We have empowered over 200 women with vocational skills as a source of livelihood. This foundation has also trained teachers from 5 government-owned schools. The foundation has the foundation is currently going through the second batch of mentorship program, which I'm also a mentee in the foundation currently. Then the foundation has supported over 2,000 students and young professionals with employment and scholarship opportunities. And also, but not the least, the foundation has partnered with organizations like Society of Petroleum Engineers, Elita Consult, Lagos State Youth Ambassadors, Bayern Fashion, Selfless Service Foundation, KOA Education Foundation, Uraola Foundation, and many more to come. So, next on our agenda is the presentation. But then, before that, I would love to read the profile of the speaker. So, today we are honored to have with us Mimi Okigbo. I don't know if I got the pronunciation correctly. She's an inspiring leader and foundation of BTH Global, a vibrant community of over 10,000 young believers, and Flow Easy, a holistic wellness brand. As a mindful coach and movement therapist, Mimi helps individuals and teams live more connected, intentional, and balanced life. Please join me in welcoming Mimi Okibu as she takes us on a transformative journey through today's theme, building resilience, overcoming challenges. Thank you very much. The floor is over to you, ma.
Hi everyone, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today? You can just let me know in the chat how you're doing today. Oh, hi Anna or Ibukun. I don't know which one is your first name. But hi, thank you for having me. I am definitely looking forward to this and I hope it would be mutually just impactful. Like I'll be better for it and you'll be better for it as well. So mutually impactful. Let me try to share my slides. Yes, please just let me know if you can see my slides.
Yes, ma, we can see it.
Okay, okay. All right, great. Let's make the most of our time together. So I want this to be very engaging rather than me just giving you like a lecture or telling you, do this, do that, do this, do that. One of the things that I find most effective is when people actually see themselves in what you are sharing and when they directly know what to do with it. And so I can finish speaking today, but if it doesn't necessarily answer your pain points, it'll be of no use. Like if you do not leave here saying, I can apply this or I will apply this, then it's like a fail. So I want this to be very engaging. If you already saw this topic before and you have questions already, honestly, you can type it in the chat because if I answer your pressing questions, then it is more relatable and helpful to you. So rather than me just teaching or speaking or sharing or making this sort of like a lecture, I want this to be very I want this to be something that you can hold and live with. Okay. So yes, we would get into it. I have like a few slides, 11 slides, but there really isn't like a lot of gist on it. They're just pointers to what we are going to speak on. Okay. Thank you so much, Miss TB, for having me. When I saw the topic, I was like, building resilience, building resilience. And I just took a minute to think about my own life and how many times I've had to build resilience or overcome challenges or manage stress or navigate chaos. And I was like, what I'm going to do is just share from my own experience. Because if I share from my shoes, maybe you could put yourself in my shoes or you could see maybe semblances, semblances of yourself in my own story. So that's what I'll be doing, sharing my own story with you and hopefully you can see yourself in that. Much more than building resilience, the question for me is how can I, how can we become resilient people, a person that is resilient? And so, not necessarily building resilience, but becoming a person, having it be your character, having it be a part of your values, of your person. You are now a resilient person, how can we get from where we are right now to where we can see, or you can see you are a resilient person? And so I titled this Building Resilience from Burnout to Breakthrough, how to navigate chaos, how to bounce back and grow forward. And if I'm just going to be honest with you, resilience is something I am still learning. Like I've had my life change so much this year. And resilience is something I've had to retrain myself and relearn even this year, even this month. Okay, this month just started. So let me say, even in July, you know. And resilience is something we all need, but don't always know how to build. We don't always know where to start, what kind of practical keys, tools, what do I need? Um, where do I begin? I know that I need to bounce back. I know that I need to navigate this chaos, but I'm not exactly sure how. I'm not exactly sure where to start from. I'm not exactly sure who to speak to. And this is just something Everyone will go through many times. We would have many cycles of just things because li life is life, life is messy, life is beautiful, life is can be a bed of roses, but roses have thorns too. And so life is just a combination of all of these different things. And so you would have many cycles where that would test you and test that resilient person that you have become. So yes, I'm still learning this, and so let's learn together today. All right. I mean, I've included it here, fall 7 times and stand up 8. And showing up can truly change your life. I really believe showing up can truly, truly change your life. It's probably one of the biggest skill anybody can build, just being someone who shows up regardless. All right. So let me be real with you. In my mid-20s. I studied engineering. You may not know this, but I studied engineering. One of the organizations you mentioned partnering with is Society of Petroleum Engineers. I actually used to be the president during my time in school. I was like the first female president in a while. So yes, I studied engineering, but now I build thriving communities. I teach people to breathe. I teach people to move, to slow down and not panic when life gets messy. That is it. And so I'm not here because I have all the answers. I am here because I have lived these questions as well. I have lived through building resilience. I've lived through navigating chaos. I once thought I had my life all figured out. If anyone had told me when I was in school that I will not practice engineering, I would have said, shut up, stop. That's a lie. I never would have believed I'll be one of those people who don't actually do what they studied in school. But yeah, here I am, engineering degree in hand, first class engineering degree, if that makes the story even sweeter. But just a different career path ahead, and it's just funny how life works. It's just funny how life works. Life is interesting, life is colorful, and life has its quirks. So yes, before we get into it, my major question when I saw the topic was, what even is resilience? And I'm going to throw this back to you because this session is not just for me, it's for you. What is resilience? If I ask you what is resilience, what would your answer be? I'm throwing this back at you. So yes, let's do this together. What is resilience? If no one responds, we're going to stay here. So indulge me. What is resilience? You can just raise up your hand, unmute your mic, and speak so that everyone can hear you. That doggedness not to give up no matter what. I like that. I like that. Who else wants to try? Okay, Adiboye, let's hear from you.
Okay, for me, resilience is like a bounce back power. Maybe
Mm,
when you come down, you try as much as possible to even go higher than where you were coming from.
mm, mm. I like that. I like that. Nice. Thank you. Very similar to what Caleb shared. Okay, that's very good. That's very good. Not to give up no matter what. Honestly, that's it. That's it. But I'm going to take you through a different approach. Yes, it's not giving up no matter what, but I'm just going to take you through a different approach towards resilience. Okay. So when we say resilience, resilience, yes, is bouncing back. I mean, do not give up, go again, show up, push harder. But resilience can also be acknowledging that I'm not okay. Acknowledging that I haven't bounced back yet, and that's okay. Resilience can be acknowledging the situation, acknowledging that I have hit rock bottom. I haven't bounced back yet, but I have hit rock bottom. That is also resilience. And I was having a conversation with a friend, and we both agreed like, if you have hit rock bottom, you actually have an advantage. You most likely have the best view because if you're at rock bottom, there's no place to go but up. If you're at rock bottom, you have like bird's eye view. Or no, bird's eye view is from up down. But like, let's say an ant's eye view. You can see everything. And so when you're at rock bottom, the only place to go is up. But acknowledging that I'm actually at rock bottom, learning that it is okay to pause, acknowledge the situation you're in, acknowledge your environment, acknowledge that everything is not going as I want it to, and knowing that, okay, it's time to react, or okay, it's time to pivot, or okay, let us show up again. And so resilience is not just in the doing, it is also in the acknowledgement of where you are right now, in that pause, in that pause before you react. It's not just in the reaction, it's in what comes before the reactions. And I like to also think of it as a phone battery. You know, when your battery is dead, when your battery is red, you need to charge it, right? You need to give it, you first need to acknowledge that, my battery is low. And then you charge it. That is giving it energy, giving it the juice it needs, giving it the supply it needs. And so it's not just even in the reaction, it's in giving yourself what you need to react. And so you're charging, you're increasing your energy, you're adding more to your energy, you're increasing your capacity. And then there's the charger, which are just the people around you, the system around you, the habits that you have built. That is what will actually determine if you can bounce back. That is what would actually determine whether you will not give up. You know how they say, I will give up, mess up. But how will you not actually give up? It is when you have actually you have people or systems around you that can charge you, that can increase your energy, and then you can use your phone or like bounce back, in other words. So yes, that's just a different look to resilience. And I have this slide where I just put three things. This is the image of the phone that I spoke about. And resilience looks like not pretending everything is fine. That's what I mean by acknowledging your feelings. Like everything is not fine. We don't need to pretend. I personally believe the first step to change is admitting that there is something, there is a problem, or there is something that actually requires change. If you cannot admit or acknowledge there's a problem, how do you know that you need change? Do you get? And so the ability to actually pause, pivot, that is change your way, change your path, and persist in it. So like Caleb said, that doggedness. So it's first person finding out, oh, this is the new path we need to take, and then persisting in it, that doggedness. And resilience also does not look like perfection. Again, admitting that we do have to pretend everything is fine. We don't have to pretend everything is perfect right now. You know, it can be, but it's not right now. And so I am going to pause, I'm going to pivot, and I'm going to persist until it's better than it is right now. Yes. That's a different look to resilience. And while thinking about it, I was like, oh, okay. So what is a mindset shift that we can have towards it? If you're someone who has experienced, I mean, most of you are in school right now, I suppose, or working right now. What's a mindset shift? I don't know if anyone here has experienced burnout before. Has anyone here experienced burnout before? And if you have, what was something you did to get you out of that phase? So I'm throwing this back at you. Please, let's go, Mr. B.
Okay, thank you. Okay, one thing, yes, I've experienced burnout like several times, but I think the major one I experienced was when I was still like full-time job as an engineer. And I had lots of things to do. I was volunteering with different organizations because I used to work with like several organizations before I got into the industry. So, and they saw how, okay, yes, I was, will I say useful? So they just still wanted me to continue doing what I
Mm.
was doing, but it was taking a lot from me. I wasn't having time for my personal self. And obviously, my work was demanding. So, one thing I decided to do was I started saying no. It was quite difficult. I
Mm.
had to say no to some people, and these are people that when I say no to, they're like, "What do you mean? You can actually do this thing." And I was like, "No, I really need to take this break." I dropped off some roles. Then I also delegated. I had to, okay, I had like maybe some
Mm.
mentees that were willing to help with some things. So I just had to like delegate and just get a lot of things off me before I like restructured myself. Yeah, thank you.
That's that's very good. I mean, hearing you speak, I realized how similar we really are. Like generally, I think sometimes we face challenges and we think we're the only ones, but you realize it's actually more universal than we think because the things you've gone through, the things you've learned from it are the same things I learned. I got I've been burnt out many times, but even last month, I was really burnt out. I was really tired. I felt like I did not have the mental space to create. I am a creative, you know. Aside being very, I mean, strategic, professional, all of that, I am a creative. And as a creative, you really need mental space to think, to ideate, to see things in your mind so that you can birth it. But I could not see anything. It felt like my vision was blurred. It felt like I was drained. I was constantly tired and it was affecting my energy. So I am someone that works in wellness. If I am not well, I cannot really help people be well because there's nothing for me to pour into them because I am drained. I am tired. And just like Mr. B said, I had to delegate and realize I actually cannot do this on my own. I cannot be a one-man team. That is the point of having a support system. Lean on them. Lean on them. You're not weak because you're delegating. It actually shows wisdom and strength to delegate things. Um, Also understanding that my time is my currency. You are paid a salary in exchange for your time. And so it means your time is also money, your time is also value. And if I did not steal back my time from whatever was draining it or taking it, I would constantly remain drained. And so just like she said, learning to say no, learning to say, no, I will not put my time here, not because I cannot do it, but just because it's not priority and it's draining me. And so I am going to take back my time. I am going to take back my life by just learning to say no. And that's really the mindset shift we're talking about. Learning to say no, not because you cannot do it. Yes, you want to be there for people, but you also need to be your best self to constantly be able, to be there for people. And another mindset shift I'm going to talk about because we're really speaking on overcoming challenges, and most of us were taught to fear failure, to fear when things don't work out, to be scared of having setbacks in life. And that's why initially at the beginning, you hear me say, yes, a bed of roses, but roses have thorns too. Like life comes part and parcel. It comes with failures, it comes with setbacks. Like there are two peas in a pod. And a mindset shift would be maybe changing the questions you ask yourself. Another mindset shift. Rather than saying, oh, I faced a challenge. I hate that I had to face this. Oh, I hate that I failed this. Yes, you do. Or yes, you hate it. But what if challenges are not just stop signs? What if they are detours? What if challenges show you a better way to go? If you do not face a challenge, you probably will not know what works better or what other part. or path to take because you haven't faced a challenge. So maybe challenges are not just stop signs saying, stop, that's the end. What if they are detours? What if they are showing you there's a better way to do this thing? There's a better way to go. There's a better path to take. That's a mindset shift. Change the questions you ask yourself. Instead of saying, why me? Why is it just me that has to face this? I promise you that a lot of things are not as unique. A lot of problems are not as unique as you think. There are many other people who have possibly faced what you're facing or are facing it right now. And so rather than just wallow in all of that and say, why me? Every time it's only me. Maybe that's why. Because you keep thinking it's only you. Why not ask yourself instead, what is this teaching me? And I think herein comes just self-regulation, self-management. What is this situation teaching me? Okay, I failed this course. Why did I fail this course? What is this situation teaching me? Did I actually do my best? Was I stretching myself thin? What if I do not know my learning pattern yet? What if I'm actually a visual learner and not an auditory learner? What is this teaching me? That's a different perspective to have. That's a mindset shift. What is this teaching me? You know, and another thing I have learned about resilient people, and even myself in my journey to becoming a resilient person, is we don't necessarily fight the wave. We actually learn to solve. And so accepting that life is throwing me basketballs right now, but I'm just going to learn to ride the surf. There's like go with the flow. Rather than let it carry me, I am going to learn to ride the waves. And that's how resilient people are built. Rather than letting the waters or the oceans drown you, you just find a way to resurface, to ride the waves, accepting that this is happening right now. But what is and how can I make the most of this time? How can I make the most of this season? So yes, that's a mindset to have. But let's go on. Thing to and call this looking forward. Code that I have written here. To your success or to your breakthrough. I mean, what we call this is from burnout to breakthrough, how to navigate chaos, how to bounce back, and how to grow forward. Okay, so now we're looking forward. And I personally believe that the secret to anyone's success, the secret to navigating chaos, the secret to coming out of burnout can really be found in your daily routine. Not necessarily in the big breaks or steps you take, but what you can control. You cannot control the you cannot control other people, all you can control is and so I truly believe that your success can be found in your daily routine. And here's what I mean. And this is for anyone who and this is for those just navigating maybe school or navigating your career confusion or navigating life right now. Just where do I go? I do not have clarity. I do not know where to go. I do not know what step to take. And so the first thing I'm going to say is career confusion or even life confusion is okay. And honestly, it's normal. I was making videos because I'm a creative. Like I said, I'm a creative. And I was just scripting some of my notes, some of my thoughts, which I do a lot. And one of the things that just came to my head was, I wish people could acknowledge that a lot of times the clarity that we seek. I know right now there are a lot of conferences saying clarity conference, come and know what next, come and know this, find this, gain your clarity, gain your purpose, gain this, gain that. And as much as they're all well-meaning, as much as they're all great, I wish a lot of us could come to the point where we actually start to acknowledge that a lot of the clarity that we seek, that is, you want to see the full picture, it is unattainable and unavailable. Like you would most likely not get it. And that is okay. Because clarity, purpose comes in your journey, it comes on the road. And so, if you do not participate in the race of life, that clarity you're seeking, you will not find it in one conference, you will not find it in one day. You will find it when you actually begin to participate in your life. And so, if clarity is found on the road, then you need to participate. You need to get on the road, enter your car and get on the road. Do you get me? And so just be okay at admitting, I do not know everything right now, but I'm going to, like I said, resilient people do. I am going to surf the waves. I am going to show up. I am going to bounce back. I am going to give my 10% today if that is all I have. If I have 20%, I'm going to give that today if that is all I have. If I have 100% today, I'm going to give that. And so career confusion is okay. I know how many times I still ask myself, what do I want to do in my life? I don't know if you have parents who probably started businesses in their 50s, in their 40s. My mom started a business in her 50s that is doing well. And I was just laughing. I was like, maybe in her 20s, she was worrying, what will I do in my life? And even in her 50s, she's still unsure of what to do and still trying out new paths. And you never know what will work until you actually show up and do it. And so career confusion is okay. I mean, engineer, community builder, wellness coach. And it's okay to be curious. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to acknowledge, I don't think I'm satisfied with where I am right now. And I would like to pivot. I would like to move. I used to feel, for the longest, I mean, I used to post engineering stuff on LinkedIn. And when I switched my career path, I used to sort of feel embarrassed. I was like, how will I come and say I'm not an engineer? Answering the questions of people, what do you mean? You graduated with a first class, you're not going to use your degree. Are you okay? Are you mad? You don't know what you're doing with your life. See, you're going to be, just all of that. And I used to feel quite worried. I was like, am I making a bad decision? Am I like, and I had to get over it. Because like I shared earlier, purpose isn't something you stumble on. It's not going to knock on your door and say, come, let's go on the greatest ride on your life. You're going to build it. You're going to participate in life. You're going to build your purpose, build your clarity step by step. And confusion is like the salt. You know how you add salt to your food to give it flavor? Confusion is the flavor of your life. It is the flavor of overcoming challenges. If you're not confused, you can't see clarity. And so the answer to confusion is then clarity. So confusion is okay. It is okay. And I'm just going to share 5 practical tools so that I can just give room for us to have an exchange. So you can ask me questions or just pull from me and I can know exactly what to pour into you. So I know there are 6 here, but 5. The last one is my additional tool. So 5 practical tools that have helped me become a more resilient person, because that's what we're talking about, not necessarily building resilience, but becoming a resilient person. And you'll be mindful check-ins. If there's anything I've learned in the past 2-3 years, it is being honest with myself. It is being honest with myself. If you cannot be honest with yourself, there's going to be a problem. And that is acknowledging that I'm not okay. Acknowledging that there's a problem. acknowledging that, okay, this is what this situation taught me, acknowledging where you are the problem, not people, not situations, but you are the problem. And so maybe trying out journaling. Maybe at the end of every week, you ask yourself, how did this week go? What did I learn? What can I do better? At the end of every month, monthly check-ins. And I've actually created a guide for something like this. Maybe I will share it after. I have a guide, like a monthly guide to just ask yourself questions and to set your goals, set your plans. So for anyone who may need that, I could share that. It's entirely free. It's a Notion template. The next one will be consistency in every season. I didn't want to just write consistency because consistency in every season, because there are days that you only have 5% in you to show up. And there are days that you have 50% to give. And so consistency in every season is giving your best in that season. If you have just 1%, give your 1% that day. Because if you don't show up with your 1% that day, it will be harder for you to show up with your 50% tomorrow. And so consistency is really showing up on even days when you do not feel like it. And so maybe you set a goal to read every single day, but today you just don't feel like it. But consistency is saying, you know what, I don't feel like it, but maybe I will watch a YouTube video about this topic. Maybe I will read one page, solve one question. That is what will make you show up the next day. The fact that you showed up even on hard days. That is the only guarantee that you become a more resilient person. When you start to learn to show up on your hard days. On your hard days. The third tool is what I've called a digital detox. And yes, I emphasize it there. Yes, take that social media and phone break. There's something I've called escapism. And escapism is finding solace in social media. If you take a break from social media, I put it to you that you realize how much time you have. I took a break from social media for 5 months this year, for like 4 or 5 months. Like I wasn't posting. I could go online and check things, but like I didn't have the app on my phone. I would just use my laptop browser to maybe check messages or not even reply, just check. But because of that, I couldn't doom scroll. I couldn't just. You realize maybe you're not as confused. Your sight or your vision is just blurred by the expectations of others or what you're seeing others do. That's what is making you confused. Things, when you say, oh, I'm not doing well, or I'm not doing, or what I'm doing is small, it's in comparison to another person. But if you're focused on your own race, you won't see that comparison. And social media is like the place where you just start to compare your life with others, start to see, oh, this person has bought a car. Didn't we finish school the same time? What am I doing in my life? But actually ask yourself, a mindful check-in, do I like what I'm doing? Yes. Um, do I see potential? Yes. So why are you sad? Why are you comparing your journey to another person's? You have no idea how that person got there. You probably don't want to go through that person's process. So why are you comparing? And this is for me as well. This is something I'm also learning. So sometimes you just need to take that social media break. Delete your Instagram, no account, just the app. Delete Twitter, delete Snapchat. Just take a break. Take one day off your phone. Maybe a weekend, Saturday, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to drop my phone and maybe just listen to music, read a book, feel the sunlight. Just step out, connect with people without pressing your phone. Take a digital detox. The fourth one will be a fail folder. And this is very similar to what I said here. Yeah. A fail folder is where you just take note of your failures, take note of your rejections, and what you learned from it. That's a fail folder. What did you learn from this failure? What did you learn from this situation anyway? This challenge? That's a fail folder, and it's just a folder. I have a folder on my notes called Mimi's Lessons and Thoughts. Just what did I learn from this situation? I learned that I learned that people will not respect my consistency. Every day is not the same thing. That is a lesson. Please let me know if you can hear me, because it just showed me my network was unstable. So if you can't hear me at any point, please let me know. Okay? I will wait for some feedback so that I know if you can still hear me. Okay, thank you, Adeboye. All right, I'm almost done. I'm on slide. I'm almost done. All right. A solid support system. People that can pour into you, people that can hold you on days when you do not feel like it, people who can call out the greatness in you. And I like to say that I feel like everyone deserves people who see the greatness in them and call it forth. People who look at you and say, Caleb, you're not small. What is wrong with you? You're bigger than this. You're better than this. This is who you, this is you. This is who you are. Someone who shows up and gets things done. So people who call you out of smallness, that's a solid support system. A solid support system. And I truly believe everyone deserves that. Be a solid support system for others, and let others be solid support systems for you. And so that's a tool that has helped me on days when I'm navigating chaos, having people who you can ask, oh, I'm going through this. How can I go through it? Chances are they may have gone through it too, or they know someone who has gone through it. Having mentors, I mean, that's the point of this foundation, I mean, or this mentorship program. You can ask. I mean, she has gone through burnout before, and you can say, I'm going through burnout right now. I'm stretching myself thin. And from her experience, she can pour into you. That's a solid support system. Surround yourself with it. Surround yourself with people who can hold you up and keep you going. My extra point would be the words yet and if. I truly believe those two words, okay, three words, can change your life. When you start to say, oh, I'm not there, becomes I'm not there yet. I'm not capable becomes I'm not capable yet. How shall these things be? Becomes, what if this goes well? So rather than saying, but I may fail, what if I fail? What if I do not fail? And so these two questions, these three words can change your life. When it becomes, I'm not good at this, to I'm not good at this yet, it changes how you think. That's also a mindset shift. Maybe I should have added that to mindset shift. But those are words that could change your life. Those are words that could change your life. And so yes, these are my 5 practical tools that have helped you. And before I go to the next slide, I'll take a moment. Which one of them do you think you can directly apply to your life right now? Which one of these, maybe the first 5? Which one of these do you think you can directly apply to your life right now? So I'm throwing this back at you guys. Which one of these? A feel folder, that's good. That's good. That's good. Anyone else? Well, not a lot here. I'd like to hear from everyone. On the days I only have 5%, I give 5%. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that. I don't hear from everyone, so keep it coming. Which of this can you directly apply to your life or situation right now? Mindful check-in, feel forward. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Who else? Adiboye, I haven't heard from you. Let's go. Yes, I'm dragging everyone. That's good. I feel like a digital detox is underrated. It's one of the things I do for teams when I am putting together like a wellness program or session. You can't use your phone. So throughout that day, if it's a full day, you're going to be off your phone. You're going just tell everyone today I'm not available. I feel like it's such a necessary thing, especially in today's world. So yes, thank you so much for sharing. This is just one of my wonderful quotes. And very similar to what Caleb said he was going to do. Consistent tiny steps daily is better than a high jump every quarter. Take those tiny steps daily. Give your best with each day. And what's on? Oh, just 10 slides. I did put together like just reminders or affirmations for us. And this is the last thing we're going to do. I'm just going to say it. And you can say it after me. So you can say the affirmations. Oops, sorry. You can say the affirmations after me. Okay? So I'm going to go to that slide and let's say it together. My story is still unfolding. I am not behind in life. I am building. My mistakes won't break me. They strengthen me. You can't bet against me because I am someone that will keep showing up. I believe you're saying it after me. And also, am I a mindfulness coach if I don't do a guided breath walk? So let's try this together. I am just going to teach you how to breathe. And one of the ways to manage stress is actually through mindful breathing. And I'm going to teach you how to do it. So indulge me, okay? Indulge me. If you can, just close your eyes for a bit and just listen to the sound of my voice. Hopefully, it's very calm, very soothing. So close your eyes, listen to the sound of my voice. You can place your right hand on your chest, your left hand on your belly, and let us do this together. This is a great way to just connect with yourself. Now take a deep breath, inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. Eyes still closed. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale through your nose. And just think about the decisions you have made today. Hold that breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now exhale through your mouth. A lot of you have thought about the tools that you would use. Your eyes are still closed. Your eyes are still closed. Think of how you're going to start to implement that feel folder. Think about the lessons you've learned from maybe your most recent failure. Think about the questions you need to ask yourself and actually be honest with. Think about the people that you need to keep in your solid support system. Just take that moment to think on the things that you're going to leave here with. The lessons, the tools, the reminders that you have received here that your journey is still unfolding, that you're not behind in life, that your mistakes don't break you, they strengthen you. And just sit with those reminders, sit with those lessons for a bit. And now, take a deep breath Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. We're going to do that one more time as we come to the end of my session. Take a deep breath, inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. All right, it's also the start of a new month. Why don't you think of one thing you're grateful for? Gratitude is something that keeps us going. So just think of one thing that you're grateful for. Don't just say family, don't just say life. What about family? What about life are you grateful for? Why don't you think on that too? What about it are you grateful for? Just one thing that comes to mind, that comes to heart as you start out the month of August. One last breath. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Okay, if your eyes were closed, I can't see you, but if your eyes are closed, you can open them up. You can remove your hands from your chest. And yes, we have come to the end. That's the end of my slides. I am going to hand over to Adiboye. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope this was meaningful for you. I am going to stop sharing now, and yes, hand it over to Adiboye.
Wow, what a powerful session. Thank you very much, Ma, for this session. Now, currently, we'll be going over to questions and answers. And before that, I would like to state what I've learned from this session, this powerful session. And if you have also learned something, or you have a suggestion, you have a contribution, you have a question, you can type it in the chat box, or you can raise your hand and you'll be allowed to speak. For me, during this session, I've learned that resilience is not just about trying to come back other, trying to push back. Resilience is about acknowledging that you are bottom rock. Resilience is about acknowledging that yes, you have 5%. Resilience is about yes, acknowledging that yes, it's 5% that you have, and that's what you're going to give. Shouldn't try to force yourself more than what you have. Then the 5 practical tools that we learned today, though there was an extra for us, good for us. The first one is mindful checking. Second is consistency. That's staying persistent. Be consistent. Consistency is a very simple thing to do. If you're 5%, make sure every day you wake up, you give your 5%. If it's 10%, no problem. The third one is digital detox, which is my personal favorite. I do it a lot, especially when I'm in school and I just feel like everything is just getting too much. I'll just switch off my phone and I'll stay offline. Then I could go to my friend's room because many people don't know my friend's room. So I'll just go there, stay there and just try and reset myself. Then the fourth one is a fail folder. I think I would start doing this now. Today, I would collect everything. I will collect the lesson from everything that, or from all my experiences. Maybe today you had something to do, you had a goal, and maybe you failed. You can just maybe what you learned from that failure and all. That is what a fail folder is talking about. Then the fifth one is a solid support system, which I believe also, as our speaker rightly stated, is one of the reasons for this foundation, a solid support system. If you are going through anything, you have your other mates around you, you can talk to me, you can talk to Idara, or if Idara is going through anything, you can talk to me, you can talk to Anna, you can talk to any one of us, or our mentors that are on this foundation. Then the sixth one, the extra that we're given today is the words yet and what if. I believe we'll take home all these lessons powerfully and we would use them in our lives as we go on. So if you have any questions, I'm still expecting. I can't see any hands up yet. I can't see any questions in the chat. If you have any questions, please. Okay, if we don't have any questions, I have a question for the speaker. I have a question for our speaker. How do I know if I'm being resilient or just running empty? I don't know if you understand, because there are some times that I would wake up every morning feeling energized, feeling motivated, but then deep inside, there'll just be this feeling of emptiness, like there's no purpose of what I'm doing. But then, in actual sense, if I look at it, there's purpose, there's a goal in which I'm achieving. But then, deep down in me, I just feel empty. I don't know if you can shed more light on that. How do I know if I'm being resilient or I'm just running on empty gas, empty containers? Thank you.
So what I'm hearing from you is a little bit contradictory, because you can feel deep inside that you're empty, but you also sense there's purpose. That's contradictory. How can you feel deep inside that you're empty, but still be following purpose?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
That's a little bit contradictory to me, because if you can feel deep inside that there's no purpose here, that's already a pointer. That's already a pointer that maybe you need to sit and do some mindful check-ins. What is your why? That's a very great question to ask yourself when you feel empty or feel like there's no purpose, but there's activity. Because activity is not productivity all the time. And so I think this would also answer your question, your first question. What if that's the question in the chat? Is having a why. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? What is your why? What is your personal vision statement? You're doing this to see what? What is your why? My why now is I want to help people live more intentional and productive lives. And so I would choose to speak here because I feel like it's a step towards achieving my why. It's not just activity. I may feel drained, I may feel tired, but this answers my why. This activity answers my why. And so the question really is, are you just doing things so it doesn't seem like you are not doing anything? Are you doing activity because you're too scared to pause and maybe change your path before going again? And so I'm going to throw this question back to you because it would help me like get more clarity on what you're really saying and if I'm actually answering what you're saying. Are you showing up because you just want activity? Or are you showing up because what you're doing, even though you're tired, is actually feeding your why? And if not, maybe you need to sit down and ask yourself, what is your why? Why am I showing up today? What am I trying to achieve by showing up to give? Today, maybe I want to write a book and all I have to give today is 5%. I'm not really in the mood. I can read another person's newsletter. That's my 5%. Reading another person's book, reading a chapter of another person's book is how I am feeding myself to be able to write my own book. That is the 5% I can give. And the question is really, what is productivity? Productivity is not activity. Activity is not productivity. And this, I'm answering your question, Adibe, and answering like the question in the chat. It's not activity. Productivity is, does it take me one step closer to where I am going? That is productivity. I want to maybe build a business. But all I can do is read up, maybe watch a YouTube on how to build a based off of a point or a place you are headed, not based off of how active it was. It's based off of where you are headed. I hope this makes sense. But let me know, Adiba, if this answers you. And Idara, should I call you Idara? Should I call you Jumbo? I'm not sure. But let me know if that also answers your first question. And Adiba, let me know if that answers your question or if you have a follow-up question from my answer.
Yes, my did.
Okay. Adiba, does it answer? Do you have a follow-up question from my response? Okay. While I wait, I would answer the second question here, sorry, which says, what do we do when we are facing challenges that we can't control when we want to achieve a particular goal? I would take you back to, okay, I can't really share my slide, but let me open it for myself here. And I will take you back to when I said challenges aren't always stop signs. And when I spoke about surfing the wave and not fighting the oceans, you can't control the challenge, but what can you control? Probably your own response. A lot of times, all you can control is your own self, your response to that challenge. What is the challenge at hand? Okay, I cannot control this challenge, but what can I control about me that would help me deal with this challenge? What can I control about my response to it? Rather than think this thing has blocked my path, is there another path I can take? You know, I'll give an example. I moved to Abuja this year. I moved without a plan. I just packed my bag and came to Abuja. And I was like, okay, I'm here. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start from. But what I could control is how I use my time. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to put together a schedule for myself. Wake up in the morning, pray, read my Bible, work out, finish this coursework. That I can control. And so what I'm going to do is just focus on the habits I can build, focus on what I can change about me, so that when I actually do figure out what I want to do I already have a schedule that allows me put or include whatever success has now come in quotes. And so the question really is, okay, I don't know what to do. I can't control this. I can't control this. I want to achieve this, I can't control this, but what can I control? Maybe building a healthier body, maybe reading more. That you can control. So focus on what you can control rather than what you cannot control. That's what I would say. All right. Shekina, before we come to you, there's a question here in the chat. On career clarity, how do I know that I'm doing the right thing? What is the right thing? Maybe that's my question. What is the right thing? Right thing is relative. I don't even know if I'm doing the right thing, but I do know my why. And so if I know my why, is what I am doing aligned to my why? Yes, then I'm doing the right thing. So right thing is relative. What is your why? What is your strength? What do you want to do? What do you want to invest in? Are you investing in it? Then you're doing the right thing. It's relative. It's relative. There's no one right thing for everybody, but it's relative. It's relative. There's this book that I read recently, and I think I'm going to recommend. What's the name? Yes, let me type it here. Caleb, you should look for it. So good. I think it's a great book. So good they can't ignore you. And it preaches that people who say there's something you were creating, it preaches against the notion that if you're not working in purpose, everybody has a purpose, like a specific purpose in terms of career. And if you're not doing that, you're a failure. It preaches against it. That actually you build purpose, you find out your purpose as you work. That is when you are working or actively doing something or investing in a skill or talent that you start to realize your purpose. So the name of the book is So Good They Can't Ignore You. I think it's such a great book. You should read it. You should read it. It'll probably give you a better answer as well. Shekina, yes. I hope I'm pronouncing it well. You're welcome.
It's actually Sekina.
Sekina, thank you so much for correcting me.
Yes, thank you so much for this session. It was a nice one. Even if I joined late, I had learned something. So I just have a question because the first person that asked a question actually like it's related to what I want to ask. Like doing something when you're doing something because you need to show up, but you really are not like feeling it inside that okay, am I really doing something or do I just have to show up? Is that why I'm still doing this thing? So you answered the question and you said one needs to actually like write out your why. So I got an answer from that for my first question. So the second question I want to ask is how do you build grit? Like how do I build grit? Did you hear me?
Okay. Yes, how do you build grit? Which is
Yeah.
resilience.
Yes.
How do you be resilient? Okay. We've spoken about this already, but I would just give another practical step. How to build grit is building self-confidence. Yes. I can't remember the part of our brain that starts to develop, that is still developing. I can't remember what it's called. Sorry, it's not on my mind right now. But there's something I call there's a muscle. Let me call it the resilience muscle or the grit muscle. Okay? And how you build it is by increasing in self-confidence. And how you increase in self-confidence is by being a person of your word. Okay? I'm going to show up tomorrow because maybe on a hard day I had last month, I showed up. And so if I have a hard day tomorrow, I have a track record of showing up. And so I'll be able to show up. Let me explain this. If I wake up and I say, you know what, this is my schedule for today. I am going to wake up in the morning. I am going to pray. I am going to lay my bed. I am going to walk out. I am going to, thank you so much. I am going to maybe read a chapter of a book. And I wake up that day and I don't do any of the things that I set out to do. Do you think my brain will trust me tomorrow? If I say I'm going to do this and this and this, and do you think my brain would trust that we would actually do it? The answer is no. And so a way to build grit is by being a person of your word to yourself. Build that muscle. Build the muscle of being someone who can show up even when it's hard. Build the muscle of, I actually don't really want to work out today, but you know what? Let's do 5 minutes. Let me just do for a 5-minute routine and just work out. Chances are tomorrow you wake up and maybe work out because you showed up yesterday. And this is also for the 5%, like productivity is relative. But when you start to build your self-confidence, that is when you will start to believe your own self. So you will be able to show up because you have a track record of showing up. You have a track record of keeping your word. You have a track record of self-confidence. And so you will start to trust yourself more because you're now someone who keeps to your word. So that's the way to build grit, to build resilience, to be able to show up. Just become a person of your word. And it starts with the small things. Say, you can set a tiny habit. You know what? Every morning I'm going to wake up and drink a glass of water. You're building confidence in yourself if you actually wake up and drink that glass of water. Every morning I'm going to lay my bed. You're actually building self-confidence but when you wake up every morning and lay your bed. That's one of the tiniest ways to build your grit. And it may seem random, but it's so powerful. It is so powerful. Start with the tiny things. Start with the tiny things. And another thing about, the feeling of emptiness, the feeling, I feel like we beat ourselves too much thinking we have to have it all figured out. And that was something I shared, like the entire picture is unavailable. Like it's unattainable. You can't have the full picture. You can't. And also understanding that a time will come in the distant future or the near future where everything just makes sense. Like now I can see, oh, I get why that happened, why I maybe became the president. It was to help me build my confidence and speak more, because now I'm going to be in a career that involves me speaking to millions of people, that involves me being invited to webinars, conferences to speak. And so it makes sense now. So a lot of the dots in life would connect eventually and make sense. But you need to have those dots. You need to be planting those dots. You need to give life something to connect. And so if you're not learning that skill, if you're not showing off, if you're not speaking, if you're not learning, if you're not pouring, if you're not planting seeds, life would have nothing to connect in the near future. And so I totally understand feeling empty, feeling like you don't have purpose. But what's your why? If you start with finding out your why, even when you feel empty, when it feels like what you're doing is not making sense, remember your why. This is my why. What I'm doing doesn't align with it. A lot of times our feelings are liars. Feelings lie, emotions lie. A lot of times, like emotions are not truth. Your feelings are not truth. They're not the entire truth. So don't trust in it only, if that makes sense. So yes. Yes. Those would be my answers.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma, for your time. Thank you for giving us this audience today. Do we have any other questions for today? Okay, if no, we would quickly move on to our next agenda for today, which is the ongoing event. But before that, I would like to read us a quote right here on the screen. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. When going when the going gets tough, put one foot in front of the other and just keep going. That's basically just giving you 5% and keep going. And there's a high probability that the following day you will show up even stronger. So our next agenda now is the ongoing event. There is a free CBT readiness program, digital exam skills training for secondary school students. The slots available are very limited. It's on first come, first serve base, and the forms will be available for pickup at Koa ICT Center, Gideon Bus Stop, Giwa, Ogun State. And it is powered by Mr. Beast Foundation in partnership with Urala Foundation and Koa Education Foundation. Also, currently, there is a free fashion skill training program that is currently ongoing that started on the 1st of July and is going to be ending on the 15th of December 2025. There's just one free slot open. So if you are here and you need to attend this, there is one free slot open for you to attend. I would advise that you grab it as soon as possible. Thank you so much to everyone for joining this program today. Your presence here is really appreciated. Thank you very much to everyone that posted our links, posted our post on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and every other social media account. Also, thank you to Mr. Beast Foundation for giving us the opportunity to be able to learn from to for giving us the opportunity to be able to join this program, to join a program like this, and also to connect with us on social media on our LinkedIn. We are Mr. Beast Foundation, Mr. Beast Educational Foundation, On our Instagram, we are Mr. Beast Foundation. Then on our YouTube, in case you want to go back to the sessions that we have had, this session was recorded and you can access it on the YouTube on Mr. Beast Educational Foundation. For more inquiries, partnership, and sponsorship, you can send us a mail at info@mrbeastfoundation.org. You can visit our website also at mrbeastfoundation.org. Thank you very much for joining this session once again today. I wish us all a very thank you for joining us today. I wish us all a very nice weekend. Take care.
All right, bye
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you, Mimi. Bye.
Welcome. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.